here we go. We started again. This time I'm going to go over a feature that lets you record and play back sequences of Hydra sketches. So if you wanted to record a performance, you can. And so what I'll do is we'll sort of prime that feature by doing a couple of send to stages of various things. Now we've got something to work with. Then if I go click over here on this thing that says record playback controls, I'm actually going to bring up a bunch of code that does editing of what I'm calling InActs, which are basically text files that have one Hydra sketch after another and with a time delay in between each one. It's super easy to edit and modify. And one of the things I do is I sort of automatically record these things whenever you're just using it. So it's sometimes called a retrospective record possibility. And eventually I'll build an editor that has timelines and all this other nonsense to make it a bit easier to do. So there's a bunch of icons here. The one I'm going to use first is load recording into playback. So what it should do is it should take all that diddling around I did previously and transfer it from the recording buffer that was just being accumulated all the time over into the playback buffer, which I'm now going to hit play on. And you'll see a little countdown here. And it'll just go from one possibility to the next based on the time between each one and the next that was observed. And there's only a couple of them in here, so it's going to loop back pretty fast, like 3 items or so. Of course, a good show would be a lot longer and more complex than that. But I'm going to stop now and basically show that, yeah, it does work a lot like a recorder where you can step forward and step back frames and so forth, as well as play them. You can fast forward and so forth. So what I'm going to show you now is the ability to actually save one of these things off by clicking on the arrow from the icon to the right, and you can pick a name, et cetera, et cetera. Or, probably more interesting for today, I can go open a existing recording that I already made. And a bunch of these things that I've made over the last couple of months. One of them is actually a copy of all Hydra sketches that I've observed on the Twitter feed that I liked. So I loaded that in. You see you got all these buttons. I hit play, and you'll see it'll count down. It'll just go every 2 seconds. It'll step to the next one. So it's a great way to essentially organize a library of things to do, because I can always just stop and here. Let's say step forward a few, and then go over here to the send to stage thing, and then I can go forward a few more and sort of queue up each scene that I want to show, if you will. And I can go pick up and keep going. And again, this is all being captured as I do it. So even though I'm playing something back, what's actually going on is actually making a recording. So I come over here and I say, transfer the recording to the, load the recording into the playback. And then you'll see it'll do that now with all kinds of different things. And some of the other things we've done before will happen. And you can keep doing this over and over again. And so that's what this little garbage can over here on the left is. It actually clears the recording buffer, so you can set yourself up for a take if you want to do it that way. Again, these things are all text files, and they're all just look exactly like the sketches over here on the left in the editor. And so you can just edit those, make a show, if you will. And since the only thing that matters is the time between one frame and the next, it's easy to just jumble them around and the timing will all stay correct anyway. So that's this feature. And I do have some other settings that, for example, let you set default durations, maximum durations, and so forth, so that you can control the playback a little bit better. But that's kind of an advanced feature. You'll notice here, I'll stop this again, see if this guy works. If I come over here, I can import a recording file. I can take one of the other, say this guy, and I can actually just run this here in the main stage window. And again, it's capturing as it goes, and you can work with iterations of things very easily. And so let's get this back. These are actually some captures I did from the Alejandro random sketch generator. So let me get these guys. There we go. I'll make them all full size. Again, not necessarily the best ever done, but it does show that Alejandro's system does occasionally come up with really cool stuff, or maybe at least I with it can make some really cool stuff. So sort of sum up here, I'll get back to normal. I've come up with a system that lets you save and restore sequences of Hydra sketches in a super easy, simple way. I've built a couple of different tools or adapted tools, like in the case of the random sketch generator, to help make things better and do things in different ways. The entire, let's see, I think I have to come. Well, anyway, I'm going to go get back to nothing, which is doing that. It gets you back to hardcore reality in a hurry. So one of the things you don't see here, but you can see behind the scenes, like if I turn the FX feature on, is there is a way where you can actually create Hydra sketches that run in the background, which means that they use a different thread than the browser thread, which lets you get more done. And so I can go, as I say, run several sketches at the same time and then lap dissolve between them, or do any other transition that you would like. And this is all coming from code I've changed in the Hydra synth that lets it work without global variables and work in the background and do a bunch of other things. But decided to have a boundary, if you will, between things that ought to go into the Hydra synth that Olivia is likely to agree is a good idea, and stuff like this, which is a little bit more to my taste about how I like to create art and may not be what everyone else wants. There are fortunately a lot of people who have been improving Hydra lately, and so the more the merrier, I guess. So anyway, that's high ground, and I'd probably make some more videos because I'm sure I forgot a feature or two. I always do that. Anyway, hope you have fun with it. It's www.fentonia.com/hyg/ and it's of course HTTPS, and that should try to keep that working indefinitely moving forward, and hopefully I'll get more features in and so forth. Hopefully other people might be able to get something out of it. Thank you.